If you're considering moving to Texas, this video is for you. We're going to discuss things that you must know before moving to the Lone Star State. So let's get into it. Guys, if you're new to the channel, my name is Richard Soto with VIP Realty, the premier firm in real estate throughout the state of Texas. And if you are considering making a move to the Lone Star State, you're obviously gonna call your boy Richard Soto with VIP Realty. I was born and raised in the Lone Star State, and as far as I'm concerned, it is the best state in the country, second biggest by population and landmass. However, we are number one nevertheless, regardless of the rankings. Today we're gonna discuss 10 things that you absolutely must know if you're considering moving to Texas. And let's get right into it with the number one thing of why you might want to move to Texas, or maybe why not. Starting with the number one item, and that is going to be the cost of living. Tons of people relocate to the state of Texas, and the number one reason typically is because of the cost of living. So whether you're relocating from New York, California, or around the world, one of the biggest reasons people move to Texas is because of the cost of living. Anytime I go to our California offices, whether it's Los Angeles, San Francisco, San Diego, I assure you my pocketbook feels the pain as the cost of living isn't even close. So if you're trying to save some money, maybe you want to retire one day and not work into your 90s, Texas is definitely going to be a good option because housing, day-to-day cost of living, health, and everything else is typically going to be much less right here in Texas. According to PayScale, the cost of living in Austin is 3% lower than the national average. However, housing is 2% higher. Similarly, the cost of living in Houston is 2% lower, yet housing is 5% higher than the national average. And in Dallas, the cost of living is 2% higher, and the housing is 5% higher than the national average. So your costs will really depend on what Texas city you choose to move to. As we discovered those stats according to PayScale, that is exactly why you watch my videos, guys, because I don't really care what those stats say. I know for a fact that Austin is going to be one of the most expensive cities in the state of Texas, especially housing. And how do I know that? We have offices in Dallas-Fort Worth, Houston, Austin, San Antonio, and I can assure you, real estate is going to be way higher in Austin. The cost of living is going to be higher in Austin in comparison to Dallas and Houston. So again, don't believe everything you read online. Typically, it's always wrong. So if you have some questions about Texas, I am your go-to source. You have a friend in the Lone Star State. But again, the main reason many people look to Texas to relocate their families and their businesses is definitely going to be the overall cost of living. Okay guys, we're working down the list. Moving on to number two, as I'm sitting outside on a Saturday night in Bishop Arts. It's a beautiful evening. There's a lot of people, families walking around. However, I have one issue, and that's an empty wine glass. I'm waiting for the server to come out here. It's okay. We're chilling, we're relaxing. Just ordered myself a charcuterie board, so I'm gonna relax and enjoy the evening. Now let's move on to number two, and that is going to be the economy. As we covered, number one is the low cost of living in Texas. And as another massive bonus, the economy in the Lone Star State is very strong. So if you're looking to scale your business, start a business, or maybe you want to work yourself up the corporate ladder, a ton of different job opportunities and employment opportunities throughout the state of Texas. We have massive cities, whether it's the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, Houston, Austin, San Antonio. So whatever industry you're in, whether it's oil and gas, whether it's technology, whether it's healthcare, you name it, you can find that industry right here in Texas. And I can assure you, business is booming throughout the state of Texas. So if you're looking for employment, or you're an entrepreneur like myself, there are going to be tons of opportunities, and that is one of the main reasons that I reside in the state of Texas. It's very business friendly, and there's a lot of room for growth as well. Now let's move on to the third item, which is going to be the climate. Now, typically, if you watch any of my videos, you know I'm pretty much complaining about July and August because it is very humid and Texas does get very, very hot. There is no denying that. However, the overall temperature in Texas is going to be pretty good in comparison to other parts of the country. One of my favorite cities, for instance, is Chicago. I love the city of Chicago. I think it's absolutely beautiful, but I would never reside there because the winters are so harsh and so cold. Texas winters, you know, it might sleet, it might ice for a day, and we're back to normal the very next day. Summers do get hot. However, I would rather be a little bit hot for a short time than to be cold the majority of the year. So if you enjoy 4 seasons, Texas is going to be a great place that you might want to relocate to as well.
Are you married? I am.
Okay guys, decided to order myself a charcuterie board with my wine tasting. It is a beautiful evening in Bishop Arch right here in Dallas, Texas. And now that's going to move me on to my next point, which is going to be diversity. According to Wallet Hub, Texas is one of the most diverse cities in the country, and I firmly believe that. Just sitting here for the last 5 minutes, I've heard about 3 different languages that I've never heard before. So people from around the world decide to relocate to the Lone Star State and call it home. For instance, at VIP Realty, we have people that speak Spanish, Mandarin, we have people that speak Russian, we have people from numerous parts of the world just at VIP Realty. In addition to that, at BLE Basketball, my basketball program, we have people that just this week alone, I had a gentleman who brought his son from Mexico City. We have people from India. Players from around the world also play for BLE Basketball. I love the diversity throughout the state of Texas, and Texas is very welcoming. It has open arms for everyone, the majority of the Texans, okay? Let me just keep it 1,000 with you. There are going to be some knuckleheads like there are in every part of the world, but as a whole, Texas is known for its southern hospitality, and most of the people throughout the state of Texas are very friendly and kind, and I love that aspect of living right here in the state of Texas. So if you want to live in a diverse community throughout school, throughout your day-to-day life, Texas is going to be a great choice for you, and especially for your children. Okay guys, made it to our new destination, just left the wine place out here at Paradiso, I believe that's how you pronounce it, on a patio. There's a lot of people out here. What a great night to be out and about, you know, enjoying myself a little marg on the rocks. Now let's keep the show going, moving on to the next item, which is going to be education. Another great thing about the state of Texas is that education is of top priority, whether it's the public schools, which can be exceptional, the majority of them anyway, depending on where you live. And there's a lot of colleges in the Lone Star State. As a matter of fact, some of the best colleges in the country are right here in Texas. So if you value higher education, whether you're an adult or you're a family and you have young kids, having quality education is going to be very accessible in the Lone Star State. I love the fact that I do not have to spend tons of money for private schools. Both of my boys go to public schools, and I'm very happy and secure with them going to a public ISD. They are getting a quality education, and I'm very grateful about living right here in the Lone Star State. Just wrapped up at Paradiso. What a great outdoor area. Had myself a margarita, just one, salt on the rocks, just in case we ever run into each other in the DFW Metroplex and you want to buy me a drink. Just want to let you know what I prefer, or a mojito always hits the spot as well. Had myself some hummus, 3 different kinds. It was okay. I'm not the biggest hummus fan guy in the world. However, the patio was exceptional. A lot of people out and about. Great atmosphere right here in the Bishop Arts District. And moving on to the next topic in regards to if you're considering moving to the Lone Star State, the best state in the country, which is going to be the state of Texas. And that is going to be, you might as well get used to traffic in every direction, wherever you're at, whether it's Houston, Austin, San Antonio, Midland, the DFW Metroplex It doesn't matter. Traffic is going to be an issue. Regardless of what city you live in, traffic is going to be a major issue. There's going to be a lot of construction on the roads, whether it's the highways, back roads, side roads. It doesn't matter, and you need to plan accordingly because it's going to take you an additional amount of time to get to your final destination. So just something that you have to factor when you're relocating to the Lone Star State. Traffic, congestion, and just the overall growth of the state is definitely going to play a factor on your day-to-day life. Guys, it's raining. I'm trying to figure out what our next move is. There's a lot going on right here at Bishop Arts. I didn't realize there was so many bars that have live music. So there's really a lot going on right here in this area. Still considering getting an Uber and headed to downtown. Not sure just yet. It is raining, putting a little damper on the evening, but not really. We're still going to have a dang good time. Now let's keep moving on to the next item, which is going to be that Texas is a big sports state. So if you're not a sports fanatic like I am, I'm not going to say it's an issue, but everywhere you go, you're going to run into sports fans, whether it's the NBA, NHL, NFL, MLB. I forget what the soccer's called. I am definitely probably the only Latino in the world that despises soccer, okay? Forgive me. I am not into soccer in any way, shape, or fashion. I'm all about basketball and football, but every major professional sports in the world is covered right here in the Lone Star State. Whether you're in Houston, San Antonio, Dallas, it doesn't matter. We are going to cover sports, and most of all, we're going to cover youth sports, which is my specialty and my biggest love. I love youth sports. Quite frankly, I'd rather go watch my B Elite kids play on the weekend more than I would the Mavs, unless I can get some floor seats to watch the Mavs, which I was blessed and fortunate enough to do on a couple of different occasions. Now, I will take floor seats any day of the week, but if I don't have floor seats, I would rather be courtside watching my kids play. So if you're into sports, you will love living in the Lone Star State.